what's up, you guys? It's Tina here. So today I have another story time for you, because come on, what else would I do? Today this one isn't so like dark or deep though. This one is, I don't know, a little heartfelt. This will be mine and my fiance Jeremy's love story, because it's really kind of crazy how everything happened. I feel like it truly was fate. And I mean, I always thought that, like, yeah, fate exists. I always thought it did, but like this scene of events really truly made me believe like we were meant to be. And I still think that, even through our ups and downs, because nobody in this entire world has a picture perfect relationship. And I think social media makes people think like, and movies of course, but makes people think like, oh, there is this picture perfect. Like, no, every single relationship has its ups and downs, but I feel like ours, the way we came together, is as perfect as it gets. So yeah, let me start at the beginning. When I was younger, my parents divorced and I lived with my mom. And then my dad got custody of me when I was 7. When I was around 13, I think, me and my dad moved into this pretty small town, and that is where Jeremy grew up. He lived there his whole life. And so when we were 14, we met for the first time, and I had the biggest crush on him, like the biggest crush on him. I thought he was by far the only attractive kid at our school, and he was definitely like super cute. Me and him like had like a tiny little fling when we were like 15 or 16. I snuck out and I walked literally like 3 miles to his house in the like, it was flurrying. It was winter time. I don't know what was going on. Teenage hormones, I guess. And I walked all the way to his house in the middle of the night after sneaking out. And we hung out and stuff. We kissed, of course. And then at like 5 in the morning, before his parents woke up, I left and I snuck out back home. And by that time my dad had left for work, so he didn't even know I left. And I went right back in my house and went to bed. Nothing really came of it. He was kind of like the player type back then, and honestly I'm so grateful nothing ever came of it. As much as I wanted it at the time, I wanted a relationship with him so bad. And now that I look back, I am so grateful that we didn't have a relationship, because I was just not a good person when I was a teenager. I don't know, I was pretty immature. Like, when you're young and you're in that mindset, you think you know everything. You think literally like you know everything there is to know about the world. Nobody can teach you anything. Nobody can tell you anything. And that's very much how I was. And I'm not proud to say it, but I did cheat on people when I was younger. I was not that great of a person. Like, I wasn't horrible, but I definitely had a lot of growing and learning to do. So, yeah, happily, it didn't work out. Jeremy moved on to the next girl, and we really didn't talk very much after that. Like, my friend group was like the same as his, but also different. Like, we were both friends with the bad kid groups, but like his was the bad kid guy group and mine was the bad kid girl group. And me and my friends hung out with people from different schools and different towns a lot more than we hung out with people from our own town. Yeah, we also hung out with people way older than us, which weren't even in school anymore. I don't understand why 22, 23-year-olds wanted to hang out with a bunch of 16-year-old girls, but that's besides the point. That's gross now that I look back and think about that. Fast forward, this little thing, this little mini story inside a story, I truly do believe this is related, to be honest. And when I was 17, I went to go see a psychic. I was dating this other guy, and we had been together for like 6 or 7 months. And you know, when you're that young, every single relationship you're in, you think you're gonna last forever, and that's just not reality most of the time. It's just like stupid teenage love, if you can call it that, puppy love. So yeah, I went to see this psychic, and while I was in a session with her, I was like, is the person I'm with the person that I'm gonna be with forever? And is that my soulmate? And this lady told me that I can't tell you if you're gonna be with him forever, but what I can tell you is the number 14 keeps coming up in my head over and over again. That's what I see. I just see the number 14. I can't tell you exactly what that means, but that is what I'm seeing. So I always held on to that, and I was constantly wondering, like, what does 14 mean? Was I 14 when I met them? Is it going to be on the 14th? Am I going to know them for 14 years before we're together? Like, that always was in the back of my mind throughout the rest of my life since then. And I never forgot about that, because other things she told me, like, I felt like she was legit. I did not think she was BSing me. Like, I have a big alarm for BS, and the things this lady was telling me without asking, like, leading questions, I was asking her questions and she was straight out answering them, like, with things that were very accurate about other things in my life. So I truly believe this lady was, like, the real deal. So yeah, fast forward, you guys know I got my own place when I was 19, and I was in a very, very abusive relationship for 3 years, starting when I was 19. I ended it for good after breaking up a million times and a whole bunch of other nonsense. If you guys want to hear about that, I will happily share it with you. But after that, I really was quite broken. Like, I was mentally broken. My self-esteem was broken. So when I was 21 and finally left for good, I took a long time for myself. I took a year just completely single, like, really focusing on myself and rebuilding my self-esteem and my self-worth, and, like, clearing the fog that I had been through for the few years before that. And on September 14th, I woke up in the morning from having a dream. And I had not talked to Jeremy for probably like 5 or 6 years at this point. And I woke up from this dream and I remembered it so vividly. In my dream, I was out front of Jeremy's parents' house stacking up logs for him to jump with his dirt bike. And I woke up and it was like the most random dream ever. And I just woke up like, why would I dream about that? And still to this day, I can picture it in my head. We were in the middle of the road, and I just kept stacking log on top of log on top of log. And I was like, jump it, jump it. And I woke up thinking about him, because he had not crossed my mind in so many years. I literally, like, I didn't forget about him, but I was not thinking about him at all. And I woke up and he was just on my mind, and I, like, couldn't get him off of my mind after that. I obviously, as us millennials do, looked him up on Facebook to see how he was doing, because I was curious at that point. I was like, you know what? I wonder what Jeremy's up to. And so I looked him up, and with my fingers crossed, I looked at his about, and he was single. He had just graduated college because he went away to college and got his bachelor's degree. He had just graduated in May. So he was actually home because he went away for college, and home was back in our little town. I decided, like, you know what? Let me send him a message and just see how he's doing. And obviously I sent him a friend request too. And I don't know why we weren't friends. This is really weird, but yeah, I sent him a message and I was just like, hey, how are you? How have you been? It's been a while. And he responded to me with, you know, the typical like, hey, with a bunch of Y's, like that excited text back. And that literally, like, just that gave me butterflies. I hadn't talked to him in so long, and he wasn't like, hey, like HEY period. He was like, hey, you know what that means. You know that means like they're interested in talking to you. So I was like so excited. I remember being at work. I was a preschool teacher at this time, and I was telling my friend Laura all about it, and I was telling her about the dream and literally everything that happened. I was telling her about the psychic and about how she said 14, and I thought it was so weird that it was September 14th when I had this dream and woke up. And I was like, I'm not going to get too in my head of myself. I'm not going to get too like, oh my God, because it's like he could not even like me like that. But we were talking back and forth all day that day, literally all day long. And he was telling me that he just graduated college and all this other good stuff, and that he was just really working hard, that he did not have a girlfriend, which made me super happy because I was like, ooh, he's so cute. And I was still very guarded at this point because this was literally the first man I had talked to since I left my ex over a year before. So I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm not one of those loosey-goosey girls. I'm not just trying to be like a hookup. I just want to like hang out with you. I just want to be friends. I'm not looking to try and be a one night stand or anything crazy. And I feel like I was probably, I don't know, that probably weirded him out. Here, just hit him up out of nowhere, and then we make plans, and I'm like, but don't try and do this. Just letting you know. And he was like, no, I'm not like that. Let's just hang out. So I was like, okay. And I was so nervous. I almost canceled the first time we hung out. I tried to. I was like, my dog's like really aggressive with new people. Yeah, so I didn't want him to see this guy he doesn't know and attack him because that would have been horrible. And so I was like, yeah, you can't come over. My dog might go a little crazy. And he was like, come on, I don't care. It's fine. So I was like, all right. And I'm so happy he was being persistent because I was literally just trying to cancel because I was so nervous. I was so scared and I don't even know why. So after talking for like a week, we finally hung out. He worked until 10 o'clock every night, but from where he worked to where his house was, my house was like in the middle and over a little bit. So like my house was kind of on the way. So he got out of work, he went home, showered, and, well, it's not on the way anymore if he went home and showered. But anyway, he came to my house, and I picked the cutest outfit because I wanted to look so cute. I just wanted to impress him. The night before, I went out to Walmart and spent almost $300 just on stuff for my house, like a new comforter set, a new curtains for my house, a new mat for in front of my kitchen sink, a new tablecloth. I just went all out trying to make my house look as perfect as possible so that he would be like, impressed. I know. And so he came over and we hung out, and I had such intense butterflies the whole time. And before he came over, when we were texting, he was like, feel free to give me a peck on the cheek or something if you're feeling me. And I was like, no, I'm too shy. You have to do it. And yeah, we didn't end up kissing the first day because we were literally both too nervous. But we both really liked each other. I remember after he left, I literally just came in my room, sat on my bed, and like was like this. And was just smiling at the ceiling like an idiot. Because I was just so happy and I had such insane butterflies. And from that day on, we have hung out every single day for the past 4 years. We have not been apart for one day. Sorry, I just heard somebody. So yeah, we have not been apart for one day. Except for... No, we haven't. So... yeah, and I hadn't told him about the dream I had till like 3 weeks into us hanging out because I didn't want him to think I was crazy. But after I told him, he was like so blown away because I literally told him about the dream and I also told him about the psychic. And something he told me that I didn't even think about was that we met when we were 14. The day I had this dream was September 14th. All these 14s keep coming up throughout our relationship. Like, it was just, I feel like it was just too much of a coincidence of everything to be a coincidence. Like, the psychic told me that she kept seeing the number 14. And we're 14 when we first met. The day that I had that random dream that caused me to contact him. If I never had that dream, I would have never talked to him on Facebook. And I would have never hung out with him that first time. And we would never have had the relationship that we have. We moved in together after dating for 1 month. 1 month that we moved in together, which normally I would not suggest for any other people, but like our connection was just so intense and we were literally just, I don't know, on the same vibration. We had the same values, the same morals, we liked the same things. Literally everything that was there we liked collectively. It was just weird. It's just weird. He was like me, except in a guy version. My stupid cat won't stop meowing. I'm sorry if you can hear it in the background. Ugh. So yeah, like I was saying, if I never had that dream, we would not have hung out. We would not have even talked again. Because I wasn't on his mind. We hadn't talked for like 5 or 6 years, and he wasn't on my mind. And it was just crazy, like how something like that could bring us together. Literally on the 14th, that's when we started talking. And it's just so much of a coincidence. And a year later, we got engaged. And 2 years after that, we had our beautiful little girl. And guess what her due date was? Our little love child's due date was December 14th. She was born 1 day early. She was born on the 13th, but her due date was the 14th. And I don't know, just that has truly made me believe that fate is 100% real, because the series of events that brought us together is just so crazy. It's just weird. Like, all of it is just weird. And I'm not trying to tell you guys this to be like, oh, we have this perfect sappy love story. No, we've had our fair share of ups and downs. We have gone through so much together as individuals and as a couple. We've been hit by not literal hurricanes, but metaphorical hurricanes have hit us individually and as a couple many times. Like, we have been through it, but it is the people that fight for their relationship and fight to be together and fight through those hard times to get to the good times, to get to the amazing times. Those are the people that make it forever. Those people that are together for 50, 60 years and they're old people holding hands still in love. Those people did not have the perfect life and the perfect relationship. They just loved each other enough to keep pushing through even when it got hard. And I don't know. This story was just to tell you about my insane love story, because I truly believe it is insane. And like, just telling you guys this story really does warm my heart, because I don't know, I can't wait to tell our daughter this story when she gets older and tell her that, like, fate does exist and true love does exist, and I truly believe that he is my soulmate and I was always meant to be with him. Like, when I look back on all the relationships that didn't work out or that were horrible, like, each of those relationships taught me lessons that play into my relationship now. Every single one. And I feel like every single one didn't work out. Like, I didn't know at the time, because, you know, you get hurt and you're going through shit and you're like, why didn't this work? Why me? And then it's like 10 years, 20 years down the road, maybe even a year or two down the road, something happens and you're like, wow, I understand why none of that ever worked out, because it was never meant to. And I truly feel that way about the other things that have happened in my life. Like, if every single thing didn't happen in my life the way it happened, the good, the bad, the ugly, I wouldn't be at this point now. I wouldn't have a loving fiance that I love more than anything in this world. I wouldn't have my amazing, incredible daughter that means the absolute world to me. And I'm thankful for the bad times just as much as I'm thankful for the good times. As much as I may not like them, and as much as they may have hurt me so deeply and still do hurt me, some of the things to this day, they happen for a reason. And that's why you just have to be thankful for everything that happens. And I forget that a lot. I really do. I forget that a lot, because you get so caught up in the emotion of, like, ugh, my life sucks, or this sucks, or why does this have to happen to me? But then I think back on different things and it's like, maybe in a couple of years I'll understand why I went through this. Just like I do now about other things I've gone through. And I don't know. This is just a sweet little story to, I don't know, brighten your guys' day, or maybe even give you guys hope if you're not in a good place right now, or you're feeling a little lonely. Like, maybe you're feeling that way because something truly amazing is still to come. You never know. You really don't. You don't know until you know. And maybe you guys could have a crazy dream and something beautiful and amazing can come out of it. But yeah, me and Jeremy are engaged. Sorry, my camera just stopped. So yeah, me and Jeremy will have been together. There's my beautiful engagement ring. And we'll have been together 4 years this September. I'm truly looking forward to all the ups and downs I go through in life with him. Even the downs, but especially the ups, because those are just the best. Making amazing memories with the person you love is the best thing in the world. And yeah, so that is my sweet love story, to just let you guys know or give you guys some hope or whatever. And I would love it if you guys left your crazy love stories down below, or even if you're going through something tough with your significant other right now and you need some advice, or just want to vent or anything really, like, just comment down below. I would love to hear it. I would love to talk to you guys. And yeah, if you feel like it and you like me and you want to take a chance on me, then like this video or subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you part of my friends and my family and the people I hold dear to me. If you guys want to be part of my family, definitely just comment, talk to me, subscribe, whatever you feel like. And that is my crazy, incredible love story. Yeah, I'll see you next time.